We built BareBare inspired by the traditional Polynesian double canoes, still a bit raft-like, much like Thor Heyerdahl's kon-tiki, with quite a bit of added comfort. Our ambitious plan entails disassembling the vessel, packing her into a container and shipping her across oceans on a cargo ship, all the way to Tahiti in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Once in Tahiti, our task will be to reassemble her, raise the mast, stock up on provisions, and embark on new and exciting adventure in what is considered to be one of the best places in the world for sailing. We were on a one-week sailing trip so that the crew of BareBare could see how they work together and how our lovely Polynesian double canoe, as we like to call her, performed in different weather conditions. We had left the shelter bay where we had gotten new provisions and sailed off. We sailed fast. The less than 3-ton boat moved quickly across the fjord from east to west. We were heading for a cluster of granite islands. Rather barren from what we could see on the chart, it was very deep in the area as well. Suddenly we noticed black clouds looming ahead, and with seconds the wind picked up and the rain began to drizzle. Again, we all rushed down to our small cabins to get our rain. But before we could even step back onto the deck, the rain was beating down on us mercilessly. We realized then that this boat was not designed for a typical Norwegian summer. With its lack of shelter, cramped cabins, and outdoor cooking setup, we found ourselves yearning for the tropics, with its palm trees and where the sun always shines, serene and crystal clear waters behind the reef, and possibly and hopefully less wind and less rain. We decided to find shelter as quickly as possible and set course towards the closest of the islands. To anchor up, we needed to go up against the wind. With our light raft-like vessel and with just a small 4-horsepower outboard, this was not an easy task. We knew the little motor might not be of much help. We had to try though. We went up against the wind, took down the sails, while the Viking ship boat builder lowered the outboard and started it. We set a course towards land and hoped the little motor would do the job. It worked hard. It worked really hard towards land and hopefully water shallow enough for us to anchor up. All of a sudden, we heard Jan yelling and realized the outboard was on its way out of its place. Next thing would be no outboard. Oh my God. I had seen it before when a young boy had not fastened his outboard well. In seconds, the motor was gone. The boy stood still in his little boat, staring down and into the water, realizing it was gone forever. But Jan somehow managed to hold on to the outboard. The propeller was moving and making a lot of noise. Jan was yelling. We tried to help out, but there was no space for us to give him a helping hand. But Jan, the Viking ship boat builder, did not give up. He held on to the outboard with his left hand, and somehow he managed to stop it running and lifting it up on deck with his right hand. How that was even possible, I don't know. Almost magical. And for the rest of the journey, his title changed to the Magician. Now the wind took a hold of us, and all of a sudden BareBare started drifting, this time towards land, towards another barren island. They were all around us. We were getting close, and we were getting close quickly. And for sure we did not want to end up as a shipwreck on our first big summer sailing trip. We had to move quickly. Someone yelled, "Get the sails up quickly! Which rope to use, where to pull, who to pull where, who's steering, who's in command?" A short moment of chaos, which seemed like forever. But in seconds, Both the gaff, sail and the gunnel was up in the sky. Someone pulled the sheets, the wind took its hold, and again we had control on our little brave vessel. We managed to sail towards a new spot behind a taller island, which would provide us better shelter. It was shallower, and we let the anchor go. We all breathed a sigh of relief for who knows which time on this trip. By 9 o'clock that evening, we fell asleep, dead tired. My description of Norwegian summer has so far not been encouraging for anyone to even think of visiting our country. But when we woke up the next morning to a blue sky, sun shining and the wind blowing in our direction, then all bad weather and difficulties was forgotten. In a few hours with lovely sailing, we had reached one of my ever-favorite places when sailing in Norway, Missingene. On this black lava island, there were only one buoy and it was free for us to use and enjoy. There were no other sailors on this beautiful day. Life could not be better. We lowered the swimming platform and pushed out the dinghy. We shifted on rowing around close to land, watching seabirds and their chicks. The water was crystal clear and we could see seaweed and mussels. Blue sky. Happiness spread around BareBare's deck and between the crew. The apprentice Sophie had already fished several mackerels for us, and when finding beach cabbage, we felt like in heaven. We felt like the simple meal was like eating at a 5-star restaurant. We woke up the next morning to another beautiful day with absolutely no wind, as quiet as we could all hear our breath. The sea like a mirror. We sat quietly on deck with our mugs of coffee and just enjoyed the beauty and the stillness, and would proclaim in turns, "Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful?" The Viking ship, boat builder and apprentice only had 1 day left of their holiday, and we had to somehow get back the 40 nautical miles to our home port in Oslo. So we picked up the oars. There were 4 of them, and we used them all, slowly leaving the lava island, slowly setting the course for Oslo.
Dette morgentrimmen. Der jo en toskrogsfæring, så vi ror. Rett og slett. Så beveger meg fremover. Her har vi rauer og nordre Missingen. Og Tim seilet. Og hva har vi der? Der har vi Jan som også ror. Det en bra formiddag?
Nydelig.
Nydelig. Helt nydelig. Jolla har vi lagt på dekk. Og Sofie som vanlig. Fisker! Har du fått noe fisk i dag?
Ikke i dag.
Ikke i dag. Akkurat begynt. Hva det vi håper på å få? Makrell. Da går jeg og setter meg igjen ved styringa og ved tekoppen min.
Did we row all the way? I must admit, we had checked the weather forecast, which turned out to be rather accurate. In less than an hour the wind picked up, we hoisted the sail, set course for Oslo, and with a speed of 5 to 6 knots, we made it home by the evening. And we all agreed it had been a nice trip, maybe close to perfect trip in all ways. A big thank you to our patrons and all our subscribers. Your support is invaluable to us. Don't forget to check out our exclusive mug collection for each episode. Start collecting today and join us for more exciting adventures.